You're listening to the British Baseball Podcast. Hello baseball family, Matt here with another roundup of this week's British baseball action. This episode is sponsored by Dugout Classics, your go-to place for all your retro and vintage baseball jerseys, t-shirts and baseball cards. Head on over to www.dugoutclassics.com for their latest stock, and if you can't see what you're looking for, just ask Jason and let him see what he can find for you. And now, on to the roundup. Little bit of news though before we start. I'd just like to thank Phil from who contacted me over the weekend to say that he was buying his local youth team at the Essex Redbacks. He's buying their training kit for them through his business, and he's asked if I would like my logo to be used on their kit for sponsorship. So Phil, thank you very much for the kind gesture. Really appreciate it. I hope it's a symbol of good luck. Only time will tell, but yeah, let's see how that goes, and hopefully I can come down and visit once Manchester is released from its lockdown to come and see some action. He also asked a very good question today about how the rankings were in the UK, and by rankings we did divisional tiers, and thanks to Ian Lisa at Liverpool Trojans for helping clear this one up. So in the British Baseball Federation, their top league is the National Baseball League, the NBL. And then all the other leagues are AAA, AAA, AA, and Single A in that order, in rank from highest down to lowest. So I hope that clears out for you, Phil. Thanks for your question. So starting off in the NBL, in the tournament, we had the London Mets in their early game facing off against rivals London Capitals. That game ended 15-5. The Essex Arrows took on the Lancashire Legends, and that was 15-8. Then in the afternoon fixtures, the Mets beat the London Capitals 6-5, and then the Essex Arrows beat the Legends 16-0. And how does that look now? The Mets are at the top of the table with 4 wins to nothing, with the Capitals and the Arrows tied at 2 apiece, and the Lancashire Legends are at the bottom there with no wins and 4 losses, but a heck of a lot of spirit and some great games and some great performances from their young team. Moving on to AA, we had the Kent Buccaneers taking on the East London Latin Boys. That first game ended up 5-4 in favour of the Buccaneers. Then the London Mammoths took on the London Marauders. That ended up 14-13, another close encounter there. And then in the afternoon fixtures, the Kent Buccaneers won 10-1 against the Latin Boys, and then the Mammoths beat the Marauders 16-3. And their tables are currently looking the Mammoths are at the top with 4 wins and no losses. The Buccaneers at 3-1. The Redbacks 1-1, the Latin Boys at 0-4, and the Marauders are 0-2. On to the AA Central, we had no games played over this weekend, so everything there was classed as a 7-0 win for the winners. So at the division, looks like the Long Eaton Storm are at the top of their division, with the Sheffield Bruins followed by Leicester Blue Sox that are still affected by the COVID lockdown area, and the Birmingham Bandits at the bottom too. Now moving on to the AA East, we had the Norwich Iceni, who won their game against the Milton Keynes Bucks. That was 9-7. That was the morning game. Then the London Sidewinders took on the London Monarchs. The Cambridge Monarchs. London Monarchs was a really old British American football franchise from a long time ago. So starting again, it was London Sidewinders against the Cambridge Monarchs. That was a close encounter with 13-12 in favour of the Sidewinders. Then the afternoon fixtures, the Iceni won 14-11 against the Bucks, and then the Sidewinders beat the Monarchs 25-5. Their table as it stands, there's 2 teams there that have a 3-1 win-loss ratio, and that's the Sidewinders at the top with the Iceni underneath, and then the Milton Keynes Bucks followed by the London Monarchs at the bottom. The AA South Division saw the Croydon Pirates taking on the Richmond Dragons, and the South Coast Pirates taking on the Guildford Maddox in their double headers. And the Croydon Pirates beat the Dragons 15-11 in their first game, and the South Coast Pirates just edging out the Guildford Mavericks 12-11 in their game. And then in the afternoon, the Croydon Pirates were defeated 4-18 for the Dragons, and the Guildford Mavericks beating the Pirates in their return leg there 11-5. And their league table looks as follows: Richmond's Dragons at the top with 3 wins. The Croydon Pirates underneath there with 2 wins and 2 losses. The Guildford Mavericks at 1-1 with the London Musketeers at the same 1-1, and the South Coast Pirates at 1-3. On now to the AA South West. We had the Bournemouth Bears taking on BC Vetera and Bristol Badgers taking on the Rebeldes. I'm still not sure if I'm getting that right. So if anyone out there wants to come on show and correct me, please, by all means, do so I don't make a fool of myself any more than I already do. So in the morning fixtures there, the Bournemouth Bears went down 4-12 to the Vetra, with the Bristol Badgers being defeated by the Rebeldes 12-8. And then in the afternoon fixtures, Bournemouth Bears scored 14 runs, but it wasn't enough to see out the BC Vetera, who scored 24. And the Bristol Badgers just narrowly losing to the Rebeldes 4-6. So their league table now is a change at the top. The Rebeldes have dropped down to second, so it's BC's Vetera at the top there with their 62 runs for. The Rebeldes also winning 4 as well, but they've got 39. Their foreign against difference is 33 and 23. And then underneath them is Bristol Badgers and Bournemouth Bears, still waiting for their first wins of the season, even though still having really high scoring games. Moving on now to the Single A Central, we had the Brighton Jets and the Bracknell Inferno facing each other, and the Guildford Millers and the Richmond Dukes in their double headers. And on the morning shot, we had the Brighton Jets just edging out the Bracknell Inferno 12-11, and the Guildford Millers went down 5-15 against the Dukes. In the afternoon, the Brighton Jets beat the Bracknell Inferno 14-1, and the Guildford Millers just edging out the Dukes 9-8. There's no change at the top of their league, with Brighton still maintaining their 4-0 win streak. Then you've got Guildford Millers with 2-2, and Richmond Dukes and then Bracknell Inferno both winning 1 and losing 3. Into the Single A East, we had the Forest Glade Redbacks against the London Mustangs. Their morning game ended up 15-14 in favour of the Redbacks. The London Minotaurs took on the Essex Archers, and they went down 3-20 in their first game of the day. Then in the afternoon, the Forest Glade Redbacks were defeated 10-25 against the London Mustangs, and then the Minotaurs scored 1 run against the Essex Archers, who scored 20 runs again in that one. And their league table looks like this. The Essex Archers are currently top of that table with a 3-1 win-to-loss ratio, and the Mustangs again 3-1 joining them, with the Archers just edging out with a superior for and against average with 72 runs for, and the Mustangs catching up with 68 runs for. Then it's the Redbacks are there at 2-2, and the Minotaurs yet to win this season with 0-4, but yet still doing really well. Moving on to the Single A Southeast, with only one team not scoring double digits over this weekend, which is a shame because they're all like really good games. The Kent Mariners are in action against the South Coast Sea Dogs. That first game ended up 16-15 in favour of the Mariners, with the Tonbridge Bobcats taking on the Kent Buccaneers A's, and that was 13-12, both really close games there in the morning. In the afternoon, the Kent Mariners just edged out again the Sea Dogs with the same score, 16-15, and the Tonbridge Bobcats 10-9 against the Buccaneers. Some of these teams are in action for the first time during this tournament, and it leaves us with the Kent Buccaneers at the top with a 2-2, and then you've got the Kent Mariners underneath with 2 wins and 0 losses, and the Tonbridge Bobcats also 2 wins, 0 losses. So the South Coast Sea Dogs at the bottom with 0-4. Again, high scoring games all around. Kent Buccaneers have a plus minus of 49 with their 79 4 and 30 against. Only 2 teams in action in the Single A Southwest this weekend. That was the Bristol Bats and the Taunton Muskets. And the morning game there was the Bristol Bats got beat 7-23 there. And in the afternoon, a really close encounter with the Bats winning there 18-17. And in that little division there, it currently stands at the Taunton Muskets at the top with 1 win, 1 loss, with the Bristol Bats in the near, and the Bristol Buccaneers not yet on the playing list. But yeah, could be an exciting little division, that one. Let's keep our eyes peeled on that one. Moving over to the West Midlands Baseball League, who had their first action of 2020. The Wolverhampton Baseball Club got beat by the Worcester baseball team, and that score was 13-12, another narrow victory there. And unfortunately, at time of recording, there's no scores that I can find from the Telford versus Stourbridge game. But as soon as I find out those, I will update you. And now from the action from the East of England Baseball League. The Essex Redbacks took on the Norwich Warriors, and their first game of the day was 12-6 in favour of the Redbacks, and the Norwich Warriors went down narrowly in their return game 15-4, with the Stags and the Bucks not playing this weekend. And for more insight into this, I take you over now for some interviews. And joining me is infielder Neil Berry from the Essex Redbacks. Neil, how are we?
I'm not too bad today, mate.
Excellent.
How are you?
Yeah, very well. Cheers. You've been involved in a couple of games today. Do you want to talk us through some of your matches?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll go through the. So I was at the game against the London Mustangs today, so I'll go through that one, and then I'll cover the Norwich Sony game as well. But we played 2 games against the Mustangs today. We won the first one, which was 15-14, and lost the second, which was 25-10. So it was a big win for London and absolutely well deserved.
Yeah. What do you think the differences were between the 2 matches? Was it just a case of the thing that he got to the players after such a close game in the first one, or?
Yeah, I mean the heat definitely played a part. Everyone was so tired afterwards, and it really took it out of everybody there. But I've got to say that the Mustangs batting in the second game was absolutely on point. So, every little blooper was dropping in the gap. They were just hitting gaps, finding holes, and when it ends up like that, there's only so much you can do. And they absolutely smashed it. They did really, really well.
Yeah.
But in the first game, I think for us, the absolute highlight was one of our newbies, Mark P. He's literally only started playing for a month or so, and he managed to hit a walk-off single, which is a pretty special moment to actually get the full win for the game off of one hit. And he's done really well. Made a couple of important catches as well, which was nice to see.
Brilliant. And that's what baseball is all about, all those little moments. And he's got himself a good one there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the second game against Norwich?
Well, so in the second game we had the first game we won 15-14 again.
Another close one.
And yeah, you can't write this stuff, right? And then in the second game we won 12-6. So we got 2 really good wins under our belts. With again, we've got some new players coming in who are doing really well, and we absolutely love getting you guys in, making sure that they're being coached and helped in every sort of way that we can. But amazingly enough, one of our newbies actually hit an inside the park walk-off home run. Now, you think a single walk-off is good enough. Inside the park home run is just on another level. So that's Matt McGorry, and he's done really, really well. Well there.
Is that something in the coaching, or is it just something in the water down in Essex?
It's in the water, mate. It's where everybody's doing it.
And you get me some bottled and miracle beer then.
Exactly. But I mean, we there were a few really good players today in the Norwich game, from what I've heard. We had 2 first-time pitchers came up, both got the wins. We had one of the young lads who's just joined us as well, got 100% on base. So the teams there seem to absolutely smash it. And one more shout out from the London game is to James Pitcher, who made an absolutely outstanding catch in outfield. We thought he might have dropped it, and the pitcher had a bit of a heart attack, but he came up with it. Beautiful sliding catch. Couldn't have had it any better. We just wish we filmed it.
Yeah. And there's quite a few teams down in Essex. What do you think, in your opinion, makes you the team to play for in your region?
Well, I mean, we've been pretty successful over the last couple of years, but that's not stopped us being pretty humble as well. I think we welcome people in. We make sure they get the best coaching we can give them. Everybody rallies round. Everybody's kind of there to have fun. We're not here to break records. We understand, it's a weekend hobby. It's good fun, but it's not about, it's not going to take over your life, which was a really nice thing, for people like myself. You've got family, you've got kids. It takes you away, and you need the hobby, but do you know what? Actually, it's we're really open to people just coming in and playing whenever they can. And we've had a massive expansion with the squad recently. I think mostly because of COVID. A lot of people are kind of looking at getting new hobbies and wanting to play a new sport, and we've seen loads of people suddenly start to ramp up activity. So we've managed to gain an entire new squad, which is pretty special.
Yeah, that's awesome. And if people are interested in joining the Redbacks, where can they find out more information?
They can go to our Facebook page, which is Essex Redbacks, or they can go to our website. Just
Excellent.
Google us.
Will do. All right, Neil, all the best for the rest of the tournament. Thank you very much.
Cheers, Matt. Cheers, mate.
And yet with no activity from Gage and Play in Scotland, we sit and wait in hope that they'll get some activity soon, because Manchester have just been allowed back to training and I've been chomping a bit to try and get back there. So they must be really itching to get involved up there. But our hearts are still with you, Baseball Scotland. Stay strong. We'll get there eventually. Any other news before we close out? The Muntjacks are in action. If you remember, not too long ago, early on in the year, I talked about the Bedfordshire Muntjacks. They were looking for a ground to play in. They managed to get a little bit of baseball play this weekend in a friendly, and I've managed to get an interview with Chris, the manager there from the team, and his little bit of insight of how they're getting on. And joining me now is Chris Jenkins, the manager of the Bedfordshire Muntjacks. Chris, how are we doing?
Yeah, not too bad. A bit stiff and a bit sore, but yeah, I'm good.
Excellent. Baptism of fire then?
Yeah, you could say, yeah. This is a realisation of sort of basically this. We came up with this end of the summer last year as just a sort of a bit of a throwaway mention on Twitter. Does anyone want to start a baseball team in Bedfordshire? We've got loads of interest from all around the world, loads of support. Being in Bedfordshire, we had quite a big American military presence here. So loads of people got in touch with us in America, wishing us luck. So yeah, so it grew from there. Start of the season, first few trainings, got hit with 3 consecutive storms, which made it difficult to get any momentum going. Then when we started getting some guys together, training was going well. Next thing, lockdown just knocked it on the head, made it so difficult. But we're getting there. On paper, we've got enough players, getting everyone together. Also, what doesn't help is we don't have a home ground. We don't have any central location. So what we're doing at the minute, we're travelling all around the county, Luton, Bedford, Biggleswade, you name it, just to see who's out there, who wants to play for us, who wants a game, and also being out in the park, people seeing us, hoping people come and ask us what we're up to and showing interest. So we're getting there. But yeah, today, first game, my goals were just to get a hit, get a player on base, nothing extravagant. And there was 2 times in the game when I thought, actually, we could win this. Like, it's just amazing. And the thrill for me is, I mean, I played 1 season years ago. And for people who never played the game before, who've only watched the MLB, come up, get a hit, get on base, it was brilliant. And people going home with a smile, people infused, that's what you want. You want people to be enjoying the game. It was a friendly game, and it was played in the right spirit, and yeah, it was just a great game.
Awesome.
Although,
what was the score?
So the first game was 15-13. So quite a good show. We had we scored 5 in the first innings, and I think we thought that was going to happen all the way through. And yeah. Everyone thought it was dead easy, and then the second inning realised it wasn't so easy. And then the second game lost again, but 10-8. So we lost, but we could hold our head up high. I think just the fact that we got out on the field, players got hits, players got minutes, it was great. And Northampton lent us some players, and the guys they lent us were just tremendous. They just play where you tell us. We really got into the spirit and just couldn't do enough for us.
Awesome. That's the sort of spirit I like to see in British baseball.
Yeah, exactly.
Any sort of standout plays for you today?
Sorry, standout players.
Yeah.
Well, So we had a couple of guys. Troy, who was plays American football, wide receiver, came in, tried baseball, had a couple of training sessions, pitched a couple of innings in his first game, got a few strikeouts. That's great. I mean, we've got two pitchers, and they're both great guys. And for a team starting out to have two pitchers come into the game is just brilliant. The other one is Gary, who's also one of the co-founders of the team, Gary Abbott. He was a batting machine today. He's just, for someone who's never played a game before, he was so confident. He was great. And yeah, the guy Lewis, they let us Northampton let us the catcher, another great guy, real good. So yeah, everyone, the whole team, all of them were just tremendous today.
Awesome. Sounds like you got yourself a nice building block to keep building on there.
Yeah, it's something for us to build on. It gives us hope. And what I can't thank Northampton enough for was they gave us the opportunity to play a game. Simple things as getting photos on social media, because we can advertise and we can get guys to come along. But at the minute, it just looks like a couple of guys throwing a ball around in a field, nothing serious. But now there's actually something tangible there. There is games. We're hoping to get a few more friendlies this year with a view to join in the East of England Baseball League next year. So yeah, and they gave us that opportunity not only to get experience, but also get ourselves out there, get a bit of visibility.
Excellent.
And hopefully we'll gain some more players from that.
Yeah, and where can we find you if you want to get in touch about joining, or if you want to sponsor or indeed help you try and locate a ground?
So email is bedsbaseball@outlook.com.
Mm-hmm.
We've got a Pitcheroo website. We've got Twitter @bedsbaseball and Facebook as well. And I can't remember what the name of the Facebook thing is, but yeah.
Just a little search, you'll be able to find you on there.
Hopefully. Oh, we've got Instagram, but don't ask me about Instagram. I've got no idea.
Oh, tell me about it. I'm about to jack mine in and all. Chris, well, it's been lovely to chat to you. I wish you all the best of success for the remainder of your season, and let us know how you get on.
Brilliant. Appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Cheers, mate.
Thanks for everything you're doing for us.
And that's it. That's all from me from this week. Thank you again for your time and your support. I hope you enjoyed the extra episodes that have been coming out. And thank you again for supporting my podcast and my little channel. If you are watching this on YouTube, I think last week's channel episode with the roundup was one of my highest viewed ones since I put the episodes onto the YouTube platform. So if you can, in passing, click on that little subscribe button, which is around here somewhere, and then it'll help support my channel, which I hope will in turn help support British baseball. But that's it for me, and until next time, I'll see you soon. Ta-ra.